1 in 4 women in the U.S. has been the victim of domestic violence. Every year, 1 in 3 murdered women are killed by a current or former partner.
In South Dakota, over 150,000 people will experience violence from their intimate partners. Protection orders and no contact orders are designed to protect victims from being targeted again. But that isn't the reality of all domestic abuse cases. In tonight's Eye on KILEY, Lauren Solik talks with a family frustrated with how easily an order can be violated.
On March 1st, the body of 20-year-old Randy Gerlach was found in a southern Sioux Falls home. Shortly after, authorities arrested 22-year-old Jackson Phillips and charged him with domestic assault. Court papers say he choked Gerlach. He was also charged with violating a no-contact order. The young mother's family is frustrated that that order didn't stop Phillips.
We didn't see it coming. The sign was there. The restraining order was done.
But those don't really mean anything. Those don't protect you. It's just a piece of paper.
A frustration they've heard from others who have reached out in support.
A lot of people said that protection orders out here don't do anything.
Phillips was later recharged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter. Since her death, Gerlach's family has been trying to raise awareness about domestic violence.
There's not really a lot that can currently be done before something very bad happens, and that tends to lead to things like happened in Randy's case. And I don't know what the answer to that is, but we need to be looking for something better.
Phillips had a no-contact order issued by the judge as part of his bond from a different domestic abuse charge in December 2021. Court papers say he strangled Gerlach in that case as well.
Unfortunately, a protection order is just not automatically going to stop the abuse or stop that person from violating that, but it is a tool.
Amy Carter with Children's Inn has also heard of the frustrations victims and their families have when protection orders and no contact orders are violated.
That cycle of domestic violence is so powerful, and so unfortunately, yes, there are cases where a victim gets out of that situation, applies for that protection order, gets a no contact order temporarily or a protection order temporarily, waiting for the court process. And during that time, that abuser starts to use all those tactics that we know through power and control, the manipulation, the threats, the isolation, all of the things that then oftentimes draw that victim back into that situation.
She says protection orders and no contact orders are just one piece in the puzzle of keeping victims safe.
So when we talk about safety planning, it's things like, okay, maybe can you take a different route to work if your abuser knows your route to work? Or is it possible to have a different shift at work so that changes up your routine a little bit? When you're in your home, make sure the doors are locked all of the time. Can you exit your vehicle in the garage and go straight into your home?
Believing victims and listening to their stories is also important.
So often victims are hearing the exact opposite of that nobody cares about them, that they're worthless and things like that. And so for somebody to be able to sit across from them and say, you do matter, I'm worried about you, there are ways that we can help and I want to be there by your side to do that, that can go a long way for somebody.
Randy Gerlach's family doesn't have all the answers when it comes to helping domestic violence victims, but raising awareness has been an important factor in their grieving process.
Randy would advocate. She would want us to advocate to make sure that we bring awareness to this. How will we make a change?
We hope for a better future for everybody else.
With Eye on KILEY, I'm Lauren Solik.
Phillips pleaded not guilty to the murder charges in this case. His jury trial is scheduled for July. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, we've included a list of resources under this story on KILEYland.com.